Hello, I am Sharon Haver, the founder and editor-in-chief of FocusOnStyle.com, and I am here with
Boles from the Real Housewives of New York City, and also the editor-at-large for FocusOnStyle.com.
He knew his title this time.
I
God,
did.
do you think we'd have a cue card for this one?
That's true. And today we're going to talk about texting and telephone etiquette.
Okay, and you know Brad is going to China. And one of the things is, it will be great that I won't have him calling me 900 times. But how many texts will I get from you?
Oh, I'm sure hundreds. You know, it's interesting because as you know, I'm on a TV show called The Real Housewives of New York City.
You know he has to mention it every time.
Absolutely.
Bar none.
And you know that one of the ladies on The Housewives is the Countess Luann de Lesseps. And she wrote a book last year, and one of her biggest pet peeves that she's always had because she's now single, as you all know, and she went back into the dating world, and one of the biggest issues that came up was, when is it, all of a sudden you're having a fabulous evening and your date keeps staring down at their BlackBerry or
That's
iPhone.
really obnoxious.
And you'll be in the middle of conversations and they're texting.
It's obnoxious.
And so, in one of my previous columns in Focus on Style, I actually did a whole thing with Luann and basically proper etiquette when it comes to dating. And one of the biggest issues that came up was put the cell phones away and focus on your date.
And the other thing is, I mean, obviously, I don't date anymore since I'm married. It would kind of be a little awkward. But I sit and I see, my girlfriends tell me that they meet some guy and they exchange numbers.
Unless you're Tiger Woods.
Unless I'm Tiger Woods, and I'm not. I don't have the money, and I don't have the
what was he
extra
thinking?
I don't know, but it's.
And he got busted texting.
And he should have gotten himself some prettier girls rather than these weird blabbermouths.
But does anybody
anyway,
understand texting? You get busted when
you get busted. But here's more important, which I find to be so ridiculously tacky. And my girlfriends tell me this is: they meet some guy, and if the guy wants to go on a date with you, you think he can spend the time calling up on a telephone and saying, "Hi, la la la, this is da da da. I had a wonderful time meeting you last night, and I'd like to know if you would like to have dinner with me." Instead, this guy says, "Hey, babe, you want to meet tonight at 8?" And it's like, and they go on a date with him. It's like, loser, call. Don't text someone you don't know.
So you think
loser.
So you don't think it's appropriate behavior?
No.
But even when you're having
children.
No, but even when you're having lunch with a friend, for instance.
Oh yeah, you talk to Brett and it's like.
Well, no, that's only if I put
I guess I'm not a friend. What
No, that's not true. I think texting etiquette, there needs to be parameters. Obviously, if there's an emergency, you can get up from a table and step away if you need to send a message because it's business related. That I can respect. But if you're having long, blown out text conversations with someone when you're in the middle of a fabulous lunch, well, then you shouldn't be at lunch. It's inappropriate. Another issue that I've encountered, and I don't know if you've noticed this, how about the people walking down the streets texting, and they're like zombie-like? I mean,
my kid yells at me for doing that. I don't necessarily text walking down the street.
That's very dangerous, though.
I know. It's like I have one eye up and one eye down. I definitely don't drive and text. That's like insanely sick to me. This summer I was making a turn, and it was a private road community, and it was supposedly 15 miles an hour. And
is that where you were barrel rolling?
Barrel racing, that's rodeo. No, I was actually in where we live. And
you live in a small town?
No, I don't live in a small town. I feel like the loft is the size of a small town, but no.
You have multiple homes.
How many do you have, Miss Thing?
3.
3. Okay, where are they, Thing?
New York, upstate New York, and Morocco.
Okay.
Which I love.
All right, there you go.
That's another interesting story, too. When traveling, for instance, I'm going to China next week. That's when texting becomes appropriate. Obviously, using your international cell phones is out of control price-wise. They gouge you. It's amazing to me what they charge. So, yes, you will be getting a lot of text.
You should also always try when you're traveling to get a local phone if you can and change the SIM card on your car.
Oh, absolutely. It's not even a question. Now, the other thing that I find really interesting, too, this has happened because we recently did a segment about how to pack when you travel, which is a really great one. You guys should watch that. But what's interesting is, how about people that use their cell phones right up to the second a plane takes off. And they're sitting next to you, either talking, as though it's their last breath.
I know, and it's the talking. It's the loud talking on a phone. That's what drives me crazy. Is, you know, like you go get a cup of coffee, you're trying to take a break, and you're sitting in like a Starbucks, and you're having an iced tea or something.
Okay.
And you're sitting there, and it's like the 5 minutes you have to yourself. And there's this woman next to you, and you're hearing her share the most personal details of her life at a loud volume like someone else speaks.
She's talking about her vaginal flatulence?
And it's like, lady...
Flatulence is a very serious story.
Lady.
But in public?
Lady, I don't want to know that. It's like the thing we did about, you know, the having underwear. It's the Too Much Information Act. Wear clothes that cover your private parts.
Okay.
Don't have loud conversations in public
importantly,
about personal things.
Okay,
Or
so do you think, okay, now I get, like, okay, libraries, cell phones off, people are there to study, people are there to do research, or they're there to read. So a library is a quiet...
You're there to use a free computer because you never have one.
I know, which I love libraries and computers. But here's what's interesting. What about Barnes and Nobles? I mean, do you think that should be
I think that you should have. It's respect. It's like, you know, when in Rome, have respect for your surroundings. If you could.
So you think a bookstore should be treated like a library?
Yeah.
In regard to phones and politics.
In regard to people yipping at the top of their voice. Hi, how are you? What are you doing? How are you hanging tonight? It's like, come on, I don't want to hear it.
Okay, now here's another one that really blows my mind. I recently went out to a spectacular dinner with friends, and
Was that the one I was at?
Yes, and I got up to go use the bathroom, and when I got into the bathroom, there was a man sitting in a stall having a full-blown conversation with I don't know who, but he was on the potty. Now,
was that musically inclined as well?
I wasn't sure because I didn't stay long enough to know, but my point being is
women do that in some, like, especially back in airport bathrooms. I've heard women
Right.
sitting there on the bowl having conversations. It's like, oh, come on.
Okay, and then
I know that maybe at home you have people you could chat with while you're like doing your duty, but
you know,
like.
Anyway, that's enough on cell phone etiquette. We can wrap this up by, do you, I mean, iPhone or BlackBerry? I mean, I'm a BlackBerry guy. I don't do the iPhone. I don't get it. I hear there are people that love it.
I have an iPhone, but I wish they would have a battery in it that would last.
Did you ever have a BlackBerry?
Yeah, I did for like a couple of days and I returned it.
Why? Why aren't you I mean, there are really...
I wanted to see the internet the way it looked,
Okay.
and not in these weird choppy things. And it's just not... I don't like the design of it. You know?
I love it.
I really like the design of it.
I mean, do you like the touch screen? Is that what...
I just think it's a prettier phone, and it's just...
Oh, so this gets down to style, does it? You think it's a prettier phone?
I think the BlackBerry is more utilitarian looking.
Okay, so do you think...
I like that you can do more things. I like the apps. I like that you can see the internet.
So
he's a PC and I'm a Mac.
Exactly.
But I was a PC for a really long time, and I've got bunches of them around here, but I'm definitely a Mac.
Now, do you think that the iPhone is more prestige?
No.
That was very insincere and disingenuous, the way you said that. Yes, of course. You have it because you're a pretentious fuck.
Oh, you didn't want to say that!
We can say anything we want.
Who's pretentious?
Well, I've never been known to be pretentious, not me. Anyway, so stay off your phones when you're on a date. Don't text. And certainly
don't accuse me of ever having potty language.
I don't have potty language. That's a whole other segment. Anyway, check in with Focus on Style. I have a great column out this week, and of course every single week. And Sharon has decided that she's abandoning Fashion Week for other ventures, and so she's got all of her amazing, great writers that have great stories.
I didn't abandon Fashion Week. I like to
You threatened to give it up.
I threatened, but I still went begrudgingly.
I know. How are your feet?
They're fine. I just haven't put the clothes away yet.
That's true. All right,
I have 15 pairs of shoes lined up, but anyway, no, we're gone.
So you're not looking like a bag lady with a shopping cart in front of Lincoln Center.
No. Why, you wouldn't buy my old shoes?
I don't know. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for joining.
You know, back to the toilet. This segment is going in the toilet.
No, it's
yes,
great.
it is.
Oh,
down
are you kidding?
The drain.
No, why? We're talking about
all
texting etiquette.
All your troubles down the drain. What's that song that used to have that disco line with all your troubles down? Last night the DJ saved my life, and all of my troubles went down the drain. The line, yeah. So
Okay.
we need that DJ to save our life on this.
All right.
Take care, and see you all soon. Click, click. Bye-bye.